Coming up, emergency crews called to the Islamic Center in Fargo this afternoon. The latest on what we know. After a long standoff with law enforcement, this man is in jail. What investigators say he was threatening to do. And how and why Minnesota abortion clinics are talking about a possible surge in demand for their services. Hello and welcome to the Nightly Review. I'm Tom Tucker. We begin with a look at tonight's headlines, then a closer look, with comments tonight from a candidate for Fargo City Commission who's calling for what she calls livable wages for people employed in the city. And in tonight's one-on-one conversation, I speak with an attorney who says a lawsuit will be filed against the city of Casselton if that soybean crushing plant is built at the location currently planned. But first, in a developing story tonight, an investigation is underway after a bomb squad and fire crews were called to the Fargo Islamic Center around noon today. A city spokesperson says the emergency response was ordered after a man acting suspiciously left a backpack near the building before walking away. People at nearby businesses were ordered to shelter in place. It was later determined the bag did not contain explosives. We'll continue to follow this developing story and provide more information as it comes in. A $38.5 million hotel and housing project in downtown Fargo is moving forward. It's happening after the City Commission approved selling a plot of land at 401 3rd Avenue North to a development group based in Sioux Falls. The developer plans to build an AC by Marriott upscale hotel with 115 rooms, also 100 market rate apartments and 167 covered parking spots. The project will be completed by 2024. Two people are in custody after a traffic stop in Moorhead resulted in the recovery of fentanyl and M30 pills. The vehicle was pulled over in the 3000 block of 20th Street early Sunday morning. Shanonda Fleming and Abraham Johnson were taken into custody on felony drug charges. Fleming also faces misdemeanor charges for giving police a false name and for a charge related to issues with her driver's license. One man is facing several charges following a police standoff in rural Otter Tail County. Police records indicate 60-year-old Bernard Stash of Richville was threatening a woman inside a home Sunday, throwing her to the ground, strangling her, and then saying he was going to kill her. After police arrived on scene, the woman managed to run to safety. After several hours, we're told Stash surrendered to police. He's facing several charges, including domestic assault and making terroristic threats. On a lighter note tonight, the city of West Fargo will begin a tree planting project Friday, May 5th on Main Avenue. We're told trees will be planted on the north and south sides of the street, as well as in the center median from Morrison Street west to I-94. Planting is set to take 4 weeks, and minor traffic delays are possible while the project continues. Though he is last in fundraising, a Republican gubernatorial candidate in Minnesota is not short on confidence when it comes to securing the party's endorsement at the upcoming state convention on May 13th.
I think people are really looking for somebody who's not beholden to special interest groups, lobbyists, power brokers, millionaires, and billionaires like all of my competition is. Every one of the candidates I'm up against has taken money from those organizations, those types of people. I've refused it because I can't be controlled. I'm not going to owe any favors to anybody.
Mike Murphy is the mayor of Lexington, Minnesota, and he's one of a handful of candidates seeking the Republican nomination. Murphy is a former police officer and says he's an ardent supporter of law enforcement and the Second Amendment. Last year, he and his fellow council members in Lexington voted to declare Lexington the state's first health freedom sanctuary city. North Dakota Attorney General Drew Wrigley is suing a wedding photography business and its owner. Jack Glasser, owner of Glasser Images, is accused of defrauding customers and subcontractors in several states, including North Dakota and South Dakota. An investigation into the business began in October 2021 after Glasser Images suddenly closed and put up a notice that it would not provide refunds. The Attorney General's office has received more than 530 complaints, which include claims totaling more than $1.4 million. North Dakota is one of a number of states that has trigger laws in place that could automatically outlaw abortions if Roe v. Wade is overturned. Abortion is currently legal prior to 20 weeks and is strictly regulated. If the trigger law is enacted in North Dakota, abortion would still be allowed under certain circumstances, including rape, incest, preventing the death of the pregnant woman, and specific medical emergencies. Meanwhile, officials at Planned Parenthood clinics in Minnesota are expecting a surge in patients seeking abortions if those trigger laws banning abortion in North Dakota and South Dakota go into effect. The organization's chief medical officer says clinics in Minnesota are expecting a 10 to 25% increase in patients if the landmark Roe v. Wade decision is overturned by the U.S. Supreme Court. The new U.S. Attorney in Minnesota says he's adopting an aggressive strategy toward violent crime in the Twin Cities. Andrew Luger is pledging to use the entire weight of his office to punish violent criminals, saying it's necessary to cut down on a surge in the area's carjackings, shootings, and gang activity. In a closer look tonight, Fargo City Commission candidate Anna Johnson is offering her take on what she thinks the city needs to do to continue sustainable growth.
I think our workforce issue is the big issue our city faces. We want to bring more people in. We need to pay a livable wage. We need to be able to pay the people what they're worth and show them the value that they bring to their jobs. And I think if we don't do that and strengthen our workforce, we can't grow.
Johnson says one of the keys of her campaign is to bring more businesses to the city to help improve job growth. While speaking with WDAY's Kyle Cornell, the candidate says she's ready and able to work in city government with people with different opinions and diverse backgrounds.
I was on the Native American Commission. I was appointed for the last 3 years. And one of my jobs is to foster relationships within our other offices. So I did meet the chief of police. I did meet the fire department chief.
Anna Johnson says promoting diversity, exploring a possible ward system, and listening more to the people are key pillars of her campaign for one of the 2 open seats on the Fargo City Commission. Just want to say thanks for choosing the Nightly Review to stay informed when it comes to news and happenings in the FM Metro and the surrounding region. Please remember to use the buttons below to subscribe and to ring the bell to make sure you're always up to date. A fantastic day weather-wise across the region, even spring-like. Meteorologist Justin Storm has a look at the forecast from the Skywatch Weather Center.
Thanks, Tom. Skies will remain partly cloudy as we head throughout this evening, as well as tonight, and temperatures a little above average, near 39 for your low. Wind will be light out of the south around 5 miles per hour, and it'll become 5 to 15 miles per hour out of the south on Thursday. Partly cloudy skies in the afternoon with a high near 64 degrees, and we'll continue to see temperatures in the mid-60s on Friday. Partly cloudy with a southeast wind around 10 to 20, with a slight chance for a couple light isolated rain showers Friday night.
It could happen to you or someone you love. One moment, one diagnosis can change everything. Thankfully, there's a program that helps caring people uplift families through a crisis. Lend a Hand Up, raising financial help and hope through community benefits and online campaigns. A program that boosts generosity so gifts go further. Lend a Hand Up helps you help your neighbors. Learn more and give at lendahandup.org.
Welcome back to the Nightly Review. The topic for tonight's one-on-one conversation is the controversy surrounding the planned soybean crushing plant for the city of Casselton. Monday night, the City Council gave the project a green light, approving a conditional use permit. However, an attorney representing Casselton residents Greg and Susan Kemple says he expects to file a lawsuit against the city if the plant is built at the location currently planned. The Kemples and others are concerned about the plant's anticipated impact on air quality and property values. I first asked their attorney, Joshua Swanson, for his reaction to the council's approval.
Yeah, I understand and respect the fact that the city council was put in a very tough position with a lot of passionate advocates on both sides of the issue, both for the plant and its present location and against having the plant being located right in the city of Casselton there. What was particularly disappointing was the inability of the council to answer some very key and basic questions that community members had with respect to the plant, including how they would handle complaints and enforcement with issues that we raised in our letter to the city, whether that's dust, noise, traffic, particular lights, and other environmental concerns. And when asked about how the city would handle that, they didn't have an answer. And that's something with a $400 million plant and its impact on the residents of that community. The council should have had an answer to that at the ready. And several community members had asked them to table the motion and consider those concerns and come up with an answer to those very serious questions that community members posed, and they couldn't do it and they refused to.
It seems to me that you and your clients have the perception that the council rushed approval on this project. Is that the case?
I think that's very fair. And this is a infrastructure, a major, heavy industry crushing plant that's going to be there for the next 50 or 100 years. So the council's refusal to press pause and think through some of those very serious concerns that community members raised was particularly disappointing, I think, for not just my clients, but a lot of residents of Casselton.
On April 28th, prior to their vote, you sent a letter to the City Council detailing your clients' concerns with the project. Tell me about the letter and why it was sent.
The reason we sent the letter was to raise different legal concerns that the Kempels and other residents have with respect to the location of the plant. Now, as a starting point, nobody is against business. Nobody is against agriculture, whether it's the community of Casselton or Fargo or anywhere in North Dakota. And my clients wanted to be very clear that while they're very pro-business and in fact are entrepreneurs themselves, their concern is with the location of the plant on their property and their health. And the beautiful part about property law is that it puts citizens, whether it's the Kempels, you or me, on a level playing field with big companies like the North Dakota soybean processors. And with respect to that plant, what it's going to do, it's going to lead, if built in its present location, as we address in our letter, it will lead to lawsuits, including a potential class action on behalf of property owners with respect to a trespass, takings under the Fifth Amendment and under Article 1, Section 16 of the North Dakota Constitution. And we recently sent yesterday an open records request to the city to gather information on their correspondence and the voting process itself, because I think there might be some due process concerns whether the city followed the due process requirements of the Constitution and their own city ordinances in making this decision.
I'd like to thank attorney Joshua Swanson for joining me for tonight's one-on-one conversation. Swanson says he sent the letter on behalf of his clients to the Casselton City Council to make sure the council is fully aware of his clients' concerns and to inform the council that legal action against the city will be the result if that plant is built at the location currently planned. Well, that will do it for this Wednesday night, April 4th, 2022. I'm Tom Tucker. Thanks for watching the Nightly Review.